Can you imagine Tom Cruise at a concert? I can't. I mean, I've seen video footage of him there, but I just cannot picture him at a concert.
Hello? You're currently on the phone with Kacey K. Yep, that's me.
Tom Cruise just seems like the most serious guy in the entire world. He seems like he's all business all the time. So to see him, bobbing up and down at a Taylor Swift concert is just kind of interesting to me. I mean, good for him. Good for him for having fun, but I don't know. I don't know if it's the Scientology background or what, but there's just something kind of off about that man to me. I like all his movies. Well, not all of them, I guess, but he just seems like almost like a robot to me. Like he doesn't what does he do in his spare time? What does he do? Does he laugh? Like is he you know what I mean? It's like I don't know if anyone else thinks this of him. He just doesn't seem like you could just sit down and have a normal conversation with him, or talk about normal things with him, or make him laugh, or I don't know, just do normal things. So to see him at this concert was kind of nice. I wonder if he's filming something over there. He's probably filming Mission Impossible 78, and so they took a little break, and he decided to go to this concert. Because, literally everybody was there. It was night 3 of Taylor's concert at Wembley Stadium. I think that's what they call it. And there were a lot of people. Ashton Kutcher was there. I think Mila Kunis. On the thing it says Ross. I'm guessing it's Ross Lynch. I could be wrong. The tweet says, "This is so funny. Greta Gerwig, and Travis, obviously Travis Kelce. Ross hyping up Tom Cruise to jam with him. Jason, his long lost Hemsworth brother. I don't know who the Hemsworth brother is. Ashton Kutcher looking over. Yeah, sorry, there's just so much going on in this movie, this video. But they're all dancing to Shake It Off. And then Paul McCartney's there somewhere. He's not in the tent with all of them. He's out dancing in the crowd. It says Paul McCartney dancing with fans to But Daddy I Love Him, Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Now it says Paul McCartney entering VIP tent night 3. And then I don't know if it was the first show. Look, Bon Jovi was there. I don't know if it was the first show that Prince William went to with 2 of his kids, but did you guys see him dancing? He is having the time of his life up in his little VIP. He wasn't in the VIP box on the floor with everyone else. He's up in the middle section, where all the companies have their boxes and you have kitchens and all that kind of stuff up there. But he is having the time of his life, and it was his birthday apparently. So good for him. It was kind of sad to see that Kate was not there, and the youngest kid, is it a boy or is it a girl? I don't know. I really don't keep up with the royals that much. But yeah, only the 2 oldest kids were there. And she got a picture with them after the show with Travis, and people were like, can you imagine hard launching your boyfriend on Instagram with the royal family of England? So no, I cannot imagine that. Yeah, so there's that. I want to start this week's episode off with a little segment that I did not come up with. It's on a podcast that I listen to every week, Maddie Murphy's The Bad Broadcast, and she used to do it, I think, every week, and she decided to not do it as much because maybe it was hard to come up with things. It's loves and hates, I think is what she calls it. Things she's loving and things she's hating. So, let me get into the things that I am hating. And I had all these things in my mind, and of course I'm like, write it down, write it down, write it down. No, I didn't. I didn't. And when I was finally writing it down as I sat down here, I'm like, I can't remember. There was something good I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it is. So, um, let's see. Things I'm hating. I went to Costco this weekend on a Saturday. I know, crazy of me to go to Costco on a Saturday. But this Costco is the closest Costco to all of like central Utah. So all those smaller towns, and they all come to this one Costco. Like Sam's Club is farther away. The next Costco is like, I don't know, 10-ish miles past that. So like this is like all the people from the south point of Utah County. And it was so busy. I was getting so mad. I was getting so mad. I could barely even walk. And that's not even the most annoying part. The most annoying part was they were stocking shelves in the middle of the day on a Saturday. I I don't know who was in charge of telling the employees to do that, but you should be revoked of your management status because what? You couldn't even walk in. First of all, they had so many sections blocked off because they were like getting product down. And at one point, they had the whole produce freezer thing blocked off. And they brought down another shelf and they set it right in the middle of the walkway. Like, you couldn't even walk. Like, seriously, I had to sit there and wait for people to move before I could even get out. And people were just scrambling. People were just, like, no one. It was just pure chaos. It was pure chaos. Meanwhile, the employees are there stocking the shelves. I'm like, this is something you should be doing after hours or before the store opens. I guess that is technically after hours still, but not right now. Not on a Saturday. Maybe a Monday afternoon. Maybe, like a Wednesday at like 11 a.m. No. Also, another thing I hate, and I know I'm in the minority at this, I hate the sample stands. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. It makes me so uncomfortable because I'm a picky eater and I don't want to try your lukewarm soup that you warmed up in that microwave. I don't want it, please. I don't want to make eye contact with you. I don't want to feel awkward. I don't want to feel like a jerk for not wanting to try this frozen yogurt parfait with, 28 grams of protein. I don't want it. I'm so sorry. I don't want your kombucha you're trying to give me. I don't want this new cheese that's fresh off the market. I don't want it. I don't want it. They were doing that on a Saturday too. I thought sample days were Tuesdays. But I guess I'm wrong. But to me, they're almost every single time I go to Costco. I'm like, please, I don't want this. You're in the way. They had an entire section blocked off for a salsa stand. And they're like, here, try this free salsa. Try it. I'm like, I don't want this salsa. I don't. Oh, that was another thing I was going to put my loves. I'm glad I talked about this salsa stand that I hate. But it was seriously, it took up so much room. And people were stopping. It was in the middle of a main aisle. People were stopping. It was just chaos. I have never hated Costco in my life until Saturday. Never. And like I'm like usually when it's busy, I'm like, it's just how it is. It's just how Costco is. Everyone loves Costco. No, it was an unorganized mess. Also, stop putting shelves so close to the cashiers. We don't have room to line up. And Costco, sorry, I'm going off on a long tangent about Costco. Your self-checkout is probably the shittiest self-checkout I've ever been to. Ever. You can't even like take most of the stuff through that aisle. If it's big, they have to come scan it for you. And most everything at Costco is big. So what's the point if they have to just come over and scan it for you? So just open up more lanes of actual tellers. Is that what they call them? Tellers? Cashiers? Tellers are at a bank. But seriously, Sam's Club has the best self-checkout of all time. And I think they're actually getting rid of it. I think most stores are getting rid of self-checkout because they realize they're getting robbed blind. But Sam's Club, you can literally go in, scan the products on your phone as you're shopping, push pay, and then go to the door. You don't even have to go to a cashier stand. Or you can go to their self-checkouts and you just have the gun. You don't have to scan it across that thing if you don't want to. So if you have something big and heavy, you don't have to lug it up, or you don't have to call over the people to scan it for you. You can just scan it yourself. So Costco, take a little note from Sam's Club page, or just get rid of them altogether. I personally don't like self-checkout, but I use it more often than I don't, I guess. Especially at the little grocery store I go to. I use it pretty much every single day. Every single time I go, because I guess I'm just so used to it. But I would much rather just have someone do it for me, because like they can do it so much quicker. Like I have to look up all the numbers for like the vegetables. It's just faster. Where was I going with Costco? Anyway, also yeah, so the shelves so close to the checkout stands. There's no room for people to stand. And then it clogs up the entire main aisle of people trying to get down to the cashiers. I sound like a housewife, like, complaining about this, but, like, it's so frustrating. It's so annoying. But they make so much money, they won't change anything. They're not going to change anything until they start losing money. I was so annoyed. So annoyed. But that leads me to one thing I love, is not the salsa stand that was driving me insane, but they have this other salsa called, I think it's Cantina Jack's or something. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not a huge salsa person, but this salsa is delicious. It is so good. And you pair it with those, like, multi-grain chips in the black bag. They're kind of like hexagon shaped, I think. Oh, my favorite. I ate the whole bottle in less than a day. Well, I guess a little bit more than a day. But I guess all I had for food yesterday. And for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I had chips and salsa. And the salsa's already gone. So that's the thing I'm loving. The thing I'm hating is Costco, and when any store stocks the shelves in the middle of the day. Especially on a weekend. Especially on a busy day. Like, and all these people that come in or don't want to come inside and get their groceries. I get it, it's convenient, it's whatever, some people have disabilities, they need to do it. But it's so annoying when they have those giant carts that they're stocking to fill people's orders. I'm like, you're in my way. I came in here to buy stuff, and your huge cart is in my way, and I have to wait for you to move. And it's just, I don't know. I maybe I should start going in the middle of the night, because I am getting pretty annoyed with people. Let's see, what else am I hating? Oh, so on Friday night, I was like, I'm gonna go for a run. So it was pretty hot, obviously, so I wait till the sun starts going down, and I do this route, and by the time I usually get to the end of it, I'm kind of tired. I'm like, well, I'll just turn around and go back. But I can keep going and do like a big loop, and it's just a little bit farther. And so I was like feeling myself. When you're just like on that runner's high? Like, once I was almost at the end of that first like jaunt or whatever, I was like, no, I want to keep going. This feels like I feel so good right now. And so I kept going. I was running so fast. I ran like 4 miles, I think. And at the end, I just was sprinting. And it felt so good. Like, I felt so good. So I get back to my car. I'm like, it's like almost dark. I'm just like going for a leisurely drive around town. And I'm on my way home. And all of a sudden, my foot is still pushing the gas pedal. And there's no power. I'm like, oh, not this again. Because this has happened like 2 or 3 times before. And I'm like, oh, great. So I didn't want to pull off on the side of the road. So there was another road coming up I knew about. It's like a dirt road. And I'm like, I'll just pull off in there. And of course this car was going so slow, and I needed to turn. And they're coming towards me, and I was turning left. So like, I couldn't just dart in front of them. I had no power. Like, what happens if my car just stopped? And I'm like, you guys are going so slow. You've got to hurry. Please hurry. Like, it was so annoying. So I finally get over, barely get off the road, and the car stops, and it won't start, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's right down the road from my dad's house. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll call him. I call him. Of course, it's the weekend. He's out of town. And I'm like, I don't even want to deal with this right now. It is like 9 p.m. It's almost dark. So I just get out and start walking. And then I realize, like, I'm out in the middle of, like, all these hay fields next to a highway. There's no street lights. Like, my house is in the middle of nowhere. And there's no neighbors. So, like, there's no, like, lights. There's no other houses. I'm like, I gotta run. I'm not gonna make it home before dark. And so I ran another mile to get home after I had just sprinted and ran as hard as I could for 4 miles before that. So I did it, but I was really tired. And my car's still there. I'm going to call the mechanic today. Luckily, I guess I'm glad it happened where it did. I'm glad it didn't happen like in the city somewhere and on a major highway or freeway or anything like that. But still, car problems are annoying. Also, I can't be too mad at my car because it's been really good and I've had it for I don't know, 10, 11 years now. And it has 332,000 miles on it. So I can't be too upset when it decides to, want to take a break or something breaks on it. And the car is 18 years old. So, I mean, it's been a really good car. But there's no good time to have car problems. But I guess this time was probably a better one. Okay, I guess that is it for my my hates. Things I'm loving. I'm loving being able to watch TV again. I feel like I can watch TV before bed. Like I don't like before I was like, no, I have to get up early because I have to go to work or I have to do this, blah blah blah. And so I just like wouldn't watch TV, and I'd only watch like specific things that I knew I loved, and so like I watched both Sherlock Holmes, which we'll get into. I watched the rest of Hacks, which you should watch that the very end. Oh, I'm so excited for next season. It's gonna be so good. And then I watched part of Joy. Have you guys ever seen that movie? It's with Jennifer Lawrence. It's about the lady that invented that mop. It's like the one that you like can wring out without having to touch the mop head or whatever. Anyway, she was nominated for an Academy Award back in 2014 for it. And I also watched the Bad Blood documentary between Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun, which was pretty good actually. I haven't watched that much stuff in forever. Oh, and I watched the Kardashians too. So yeah, I love being able to watch TV again. I love being able to be like caught up and yeah, because it's like my favorite thing in the whole world. So, what else do I love? I love good TikTok days. TikTok, back in its heyday, TikTok was amazing. It was so good. Now, literally, there's like, after every video, there's probably 2 or 3 ads that I have to skip through. I'm like, okay, this is really... And you can't fast forward through the ads. You can fast forward through like the rest of TikTok videos. Yeah, you can't do that with the ads. But there's a little window when there's a day of TikTok that is just so good. Every video is just hitting. You're laughing. You're relating. You're watching people's vlogs. They're good vlog days. So, yeah, that is what I love. I love summer nights. I took my dog for a walk last night, and I just love it. I love it so much. I love summer. And then also, so this is the last thing I love. Katy Perry released a snippet of her song Woman's World, and people were like having mixed reactions about it. And then, I don't even know, less than a week later, she released another snippet, and people were like, oh, okay, maybe I spoke too soon. This song actually sounds pretty good. So I'm loving that people are coming around to her new single, and I'm loving that she's actually doing PR for this album. I love that she's, like she just walked in a fashion show last night. Yeah, I feel like we're getting old pop star energy back. Old pop star PR, old pop star, I don't know. What am I trying to say? Old pop star, what am I trying to say? Advertising? No, that's not what I mean. Anyway, Sherlock Holmes. It took me about 4 days to watch the first one because I'd watch it before I go to bed, and if you know me, you know I will fall asleep, especially if it's 10 p.m. and I start a movie. There are people that ask like, "Hey, um, we want to start a movie? Like, is this like after dinner or something at their house?" I'm like, it's like 9 o'clock. They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, um, I will never stay awake for that movie. I am so sorry. So yeah, it took me about 4 times to watch the first Sherlock Holmes, which I loved it. I loved it. It was really good. Guy Ritchie directed it. I love the little sounds throughout the movie. I love the soundtrack. I guess there's not really a soundtrack. Is it a score? I guess you would say. The second one though, I mean, I guess this is a spoiler if you haven't seen Sherlock Holmes from 2011. Maybe you should go watch it. Uh, I wonder what happened with Rachel McAdams. Like, why did they kill her off? I wonder if she had scheduling conflicts. I wonder if there was a scuffle on set. I wonder, like, why would you kill off? Would you consider Rachel McAdams an A-list actor? I guess I would. Why would you kill off a very prominent actor in a big, I guess it would be a franchise movie? I I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Like when she first like passed out, I thought she was just gonna be sick and she'd show up later in the movie, but she didn't. So I'm like, what's going on? Did she not want to do it anymore? Like, I guess I could Google it. There's probably some evidence somewhere, but that was just interesting to me. Um, and I think because I think I told you last week, I hated this movie, the second one, and I think it was just like pick me energy. Like, ugh, the movie was so dumb. I just like it was so like it was not good. But I mean, it was. I think what I don't like about it is the predictions he makes. I'm like, how would you know that? Or like the little tiny things that he's like, I noticed this and this and this about this thing. It's like, well, okay, but you didn't show us that, so how would we know? How would we know that? Does that make sense? Like when it's like looks like all hope is lost, and then he finally pulls something out of his back pocket. He's like, there was some red paint on the bottom of his cloak. And it's like, okay, well, if we would have saw that, we would have known that too. So, like, I think that's what bugged me, is all of the little cut scenes of him, like, punch right, hit left, kick this, like, and I'm like, okay, how do you know that's for sure going to happen? But he's also really smart, so. And then I've just learned, like, I'm there to be entertained. Like, not every movie has to be so super realistic. So, there's that. I'm going to look up and see if there's a reason why she got killed off in the second movie so quickly. Okay, interesting news I just found out. So I'm seeing two different things. This one I think was written a lot sooner. No, what am I trying to say? A lot longer ago. It says Joe Silver, the film's producer, has said that we always intended to have a different kind of girl for each movie, in the vein of Bond girls. He found it complicated to persuade McAdams to return in a smaller role. She loved being with us, but she hoped to have a bigger role. So I think she wanted to have a bigger part, but they didn't want to have the same girl twice, which that's kind of weird. Because I feel like people love Rachel McAdams. But then this one was just December 1st, 2023. Rachel McAdams turned down a role opposite Robert Downey Jr. in Sherlock Holmes sequel, but only agreed to a cameo appearance due to the uncertainty about director's departure from Cowboys and Aliens. I don't know what that means, because when I click on this article, due to uncertainty about it, says that Robert Downey Jr. was supposed to be in Cowboys vs. Aliens. McAdams' breakthrough role came in 2004. We know that, blah, blah, blah. Following his success, McAdams starred in a series of critically acclaimed films, solidifying her reputation as a versatile actor. However, McAdams turned down a role opposite Robert Downey Jr. I think it was for Cowboys vs. Aliens. Cowboys and Aliens, sorry. Following the remarkable success of 2009 film Sherlock Holmes, Warner Brothers wasted no time greenlighting the sequel. This decision led to the director Guy Ritchie stepping away from his planned adaptation of Lobo? I don't know what that is. And Robert Downey Jr. departing from Cowboys and Aliens, leaving the future of their involvement uncertain. As for Rachel McAdams, her participation in the sequel remained unclear at the point in that time. McAdams said, "If I do, it won't be a very big part. It's not a lead part." I'm so confused of what's going on. Because then it says the director left Cowboys and Aliens to come do this, but the director was Guy Ritchie, and the director of Cowboys and Aliens is Jon Favreau. So confusing. Let's see. But I did see this. This was interesting. Rachel McAdams has had a long list of turned down projects. Like many actors, McAdams has had to make difficult decisions when it comes to choosing film projects. She turned down roles like Devil Wears Prada, and she turned down the role of Pepper Potts in Iron Man. That went to Gwyneth Paltrow. And Game of Shadows is available on streaming on HBO. I just bought it. Dang it. Yeah, so I don't know. I wonder if people regret, like, Christina Applegate was supposed to be in Legally Blonde, and she turned it down and it went to Reese Witherspoon. I think she has said, "I regret that." And there are just, like, Titanic was supposed to go to, like, I think 3 other people before Kate Winslet. Can you imagine? Anyway, that being said, Sherlock Holmes, I like it. I'm a Sherlock Holmes stan now. It's kind of one of those movies that it's like a comfort movie to me right now. Like, I want to watch it over and over again. I don't know if that's some kind of mental illness that I get so hyperfixated on specific things and watch them over and over and over and over again until one day I just don't. Like, it was last year, the year before, I watched Corpse Bride every single night to go to bed for like 6 months. So there's that. But I did see they're doing a Sherlock Holmes 3, and it is supposed to be coming out, I think, next year. I want to say there's not much about it. It is kind of under wraps. Let's see. Sherlock Holmes 3. The plot is unknown at this time. Director is Dexter Fletcher. So the director of the first 2 is Guy Ritchie, and I wonder why they didn't bring him back. I wonder if he didn't want to do it. So, like, the movie's definitely going to have a different kind of feel to it, and that could be good or that could be bad. So we will see. So far, it's Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law, the inspector guy from Scotland Yard, I guess you'd call it, and Professor Moriarty, the evil guy from the last film. Does it say when it's supposed to come out? I guess it doesn't. I thought it did yesterday. So yeah, there's something to look forward to. That would be fun. I was actually thinking, like, when I was watching, I'm like, why didn't they keep going with this? And I still don't know why. Because I think the movie made $543 million, it said. So, I don't know, who knows, maybe that's a flop in Hollywood's eyes, but not in my eyes. That'd be a lot of money. Alright, let's move on. What is next? I guess we all heard about Justin Timberlake and his little arrest scandal. He was arrested, I think he was in the Hamptons the other night, driving while intoxicated. And the cop that pulled him over didn't even know who he was. He was so young, he didn't know who Justin Timberlake was. And the new thing going around right now is Justin was like, "Oh, this is going to ruin the tour." And the cop's like, "What tour?" He's like, "The world tour." So everyone keeps commenting that on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, all these things. It's so funny. Like me, when any minor inconvenience happens, "Oh, this is going to affect the world tour." But what else is funny is Britney Spears' song "Criminal" started charting again on iTunes, and I don't know. I don't know what is going on with Justin, but he tried to blame it on Britney, apparently. Again, he's like, they're like, he's been going through so much stress from the release of Britney's book. I'm like, really? You're going to blame her again? You're going to literally, like, come on, leave her alone. And his wife, Jessica Biel, was recording a movie, filming a movie in somewhere else, and she didn't even come and like see him. I think she's kind of tired because this isn't the first time something like this has happened. She had to go. I think it was in New Orleans, and he was so wasted, and she had to like fly down there and take care of him. And I wonder if she's just kind of like done. Um, but he was at his concert. Was it last night or the night before? And he's up on stage like trying to cry, and he's like, "It's been a really rough week, but you're all here for me. You all stick around for me when I mess up, like blah blah blah." I'm like, oh come on, really? Like, you messed up, you know it. It's no one else's fault but your own. Like, come on. It's not that hard to not drive your car after you drink. So maybe let's try not to do that again. Let's try not to blame other people. But I don't know. I used to like Justin Timberlake, and he's in a few like the movies that I love. Like I love Friends with Benefits. I love that movie, and unfortunately, the two actors in it are not doing well right now. Mila Kunis, she was just spotted out for the first time in like over a year after the whole Danny Masterson debacle. Danny Masterson is the guy off of That 70s Show who was accused of a trigger warning, raping a bunch of women, and it come to the light that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis were asked to write letters of encouragement to the judge to not prosecute him or to make his sentence less. And people found out about that and of course went wild. And so they've kind of been in hiding for a long time until like a month ago they were spotted at a basketball game with their kids, which is interesting because I don't think they show their kids that much. So to go out in public with them courtside at a major basketball game was interesting. And then Ashton Kutcher was Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis at Taylor Swift? I think so. But I love, and then of course, what's his name? I just forgot his name. Justin Timberlake is in Friends with Benefits too, and he's also not doing well. He's also in Bad Teacher, which I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's hilarious. But yeah, I love Friends with Benefits. I love it so much. And unfortunately, those two are not having the best time right now, so best of luck, but I will still be watching that movie because it's really good. What else has happened this week, you guys? Nancy McKenzie, who played Marge Simpson, passed away at 81 years old. So that's sad. It's kind of like the end of a legacy. I wonder with all this AI stuff if they can just keep her voice going, which seems creepy and illegal, but what do I know? That I was gonna bring up that point though. I hate all this AI crap, but on Instagram, I don't even know how it happened. I pushed that button and it went to the AI thing, and it showed me like it typed in like an example. It's like show Kacey Musgrave's tour dates, and it just brought it all up. I'm like, it's kind of handy. And then I was like yesterday, I was like, I wonder if it will do like a workout for me. So I typed in create a back and bicep workout for me. In less than like 1 second, it had an entire workout for me. Exactly how to do the workouts, what posture to choose, how long I need to rest, how long I need to rest in between each workout. I was like, oh, this is interesting. This might be not as bad as I think it is. So, for some things it's good. For most other things, I think it is creepy, and I don't know. Have none of you seen Age of Ultron? I'm just saying. Let's see. There's a rumor right now. This is very like loosely based, but Miley Cyrus is rumored to be in Stranger Things, the newest one. Which I don't know. What do we think about that? What do we think about like this show is so beloved and so well thought out and meticulously planned, would seeing someone like Miley Cyrus on the screen, like, could you take it seriously? Could you go along with it? I mean, I guess it depends on how good of a job she does in it. But, like, what would she do? Because technically, in the show, she doesn't even exist yet. So what's going to happen? And who knows? Maybe this is just some wild rumor that's kind of gone like viral. That's like literally not true, but it's just gone, taken a life of its own. So who knows? I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I think people would have a hard time seeing past just Miley, So I don't know. We'll see. Rihanna is the new face of Dior, one of the new faces of Dior. Dior is one of the most expensive designers of all time. There's this bag. I'm going to pull it up right now. It's like a book bag, kind of like a tote bag. I want it so bad. I'm going to show you guys the price. Dior book bag. Book tote. It is so cool. They have a couple different designs, and like one of them has like tigers and stuff on it, but one of it just has the Dior logo. Like if you saw it, I think you'd know what it is, because a lot of rich people use them for traveling. Like they use them as their airplane bags or something. And I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I could do that. Let's see, they have new ones out now. $3,800 for a canvas tote bag. So there's that. And I want one so bad. Should I Klarna it? Should I Afterpay it? Did you see Apple's getting rid of their... I didn't even know they had one until they sent me an email. They're getting rid of their Pay Later program. I don't know why, but they said they are. I wonder if that means... Because if you buy Apple product, you can do payments. I hope that's not what that means, because I use that a lot. Anyway, sorry, I'm just thinking to myself right now. So Rihanna's the new face of that. So Post Malone announced his new album, F1 Trillion. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to mean. The cover is really cool. It's like a old Ford pickup truck that is like face down, like touching the top of a lake. So it's like reflective. It's pretty cool. That comes out August 16th. I think he has a new song out right now with Blake Shelton. If it's out, I have not heard it. I apologize. But it is going to be country, like everything else right now. So there is that. I guess I shouldn't say everything else, but there's a lot of country going on right now. So yeah. The band The Pink Slip, I didn't know that was their name, in Freaky Friday. I was going to say Pink Friday. In Freaky Friday is returning to the new Freaky Friday movie. That's exciting. I love that scene when they're on stage. Me and my cousin used to sing that song all the time. And when, the iconic scene when Jamie Lee Curtis starts playing the guitar backstage. I don't know. It's going to be hard to top that. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be hard to top that whole movie, honestly. Okay, here's what we need to talk about right now. Lisa Barlow, one of the housewives from Salt Lake, she owns the tequila company Vida Tequila. And she claims that she's Mormon. But I think anyone that is Mormon will tell you, if you own an alcohol company, you probably aren't worthy to go and do their church things. I don't think I'm stepping out of line here when I say that. So, also, if you haven't read the book that the church is based upon, then how do you consider yourself in that church? There's just a few things that don't make any sense, Miss Barlow. But let me pull this up. She is being sued for $410,000. This is on page 6. Real Housewives of star Lisa Barlow and Vida Tequila sued over $410,000 of alleged unpaid loans. Lisa Barlow and her brands Vida Tequila and Lux Marketing are facing a new lawsuit from former friend and business partner Bart Carlson. Carlson filed for a lawsuit against Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star on Wednesday, claiming that he loaned Barlow, Vida, and Lux a total of $410,842.36. That is like pretty specific. Between May 2010 and February 2018. I'm just curious, if you weren't getting paid back within those 8 years, why would you keep giving her money? I don't, like, if you hadn't even seen a dime or anything, maybe she had paid some back. I can't imagine borrowing $410,000. I mean, people do it for a house, I guess, but in this economy, that's like a tough shed in the backyard of someone's house. But why would you keep giving people money if they're not going to pay you back? He also said when Barlow first came to him for financial assistance, he willingly lent her the money, but the pair never agreed on a repayment schedule due to their close relationship. Okay, still, if you weren't being paid back within 8 years, why would you keep giving her money? I don't understand people. And who has $410,000 just to give out? I mean, I guess it was technically an investment, maybe? I mean, I guess not really, because he didn't make her sign anything. Over the years, he said he's asked for the money back. Oh, okay. So, like, does over the years mean since 2018? Is like, since... Because if you were asking for the money back and she wasn't giving it to you, why would you keep giving her more money? I know I keep going back to that, but it's just like, what's going on? This is why you don't loan your friends or family any money. And if you do, just expect it not to come back, because there's a lot of people out there who will not give you money back. So be pleasantly surprised if that happens. If it doesn't happen, I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry. The Bravo celebrity reportedly told him neither she nor either one of her companies can afford to repay him. The 49-year-old TV star responded to the suit Wednesday saying she's deeply saddened. I'm so sorry, Lisa, over their legal situation. Bart Carlson was once a business partner in a restaurant in Park City, and I thought a friend. I'm deeply saddened because that he has decided 9 years after our restaurant business ceased to claim that I owe him money. To be very clear, the claim that I owe Bart or his company money is untrue. I pay my bills and obligations, and I always have. I look forward to the truth coming out, and I intend to hold Bart fully accountable for any damages this personal attack may cause me or my business. So, I hope this is all in the new season, because this will be good. 2 months prior to this lawsuit reveal, it was reported that Barlow's fellow Real Housewives of Salt Lake castmate Mary Cosby allegedly called Barlow's 12-year-old son, Henry, the R-word, during a crazy fight between the women. Oh, Mary. Come on, Mary. I don't know. Sources close to the production told Page 6 that other cast members, including returning stars Heather Gay, Whitney Rose, Meredith Marks, and Angie Katsanovas, were perturbed by Cosby's part in the exchange. The entire cast was beyond grossed out, the insider explained of cast reaction to Cosby's outburst. While a second source said Barlow was initially upset with Cosby for the use of the slur against her youngest son, another source told the outlet they'd since made amends over the situation at the time of the report and were filming together in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I don't know, it's interesting how some people can be forgiven so easily and some people not. Like, who was it? Was it Lisa that brought up Meredith's children? Who was it? And Meredith didn't let it go. But then Mary can say a slur to Lisa's son and she forgives him within a couple weeks. Anyway, interesting. So I don't know when season 3 is coming out, but I hope soon, because I'm guessing like September, which is good because we need a summer season of Salt Lake. I know they love showing all the snow. I love that. But Utah is so much more than just the snow. Like, there's so much more to do in the summertime, and it's like way prettier, I think, in the summertime. So please, have some summer seasons. No more of these all winter seasons. No more of these girls' trips to go skiing or snowmobiling or whatever. Like, we get it. Utah has snow. Utah has ski resorts. Like, blah, blah, blah. George Strait broke the attendance record at Texas. Let's see. Nope. 110,000 people. 110,905 people. The country's music star performed at Kyle Field at Texas A&M College. And I also looked up what A&M means, because you always hear that, and it's like, what does that actually mean? The Agriculture and Mechanical College of Texas, hence the A&M, opened on October 4th, 1876. Wow. Pretty old. No name change in that whole time. Okay. In Texas over the weekend and set a new record for the largest U.S. ticketed show in history. The crowd topped 110,905 people, which broke an all-time attendance record set by the Grateful Dead at New Jersey's Raceway Park in 1977. I don't know a single Grateful Dead song, but I did look it up. Grateful Dead, it says popular songs, Touch of Grey, Truckin', Friend of the Devil, Fire on the Mountain. I don't know if I heard these songs, if I would know what they are. But, yeah. It says the Grateful Dead were an American rock band formed in 1965 in Palo Alto. I have a friend that grew up in Palo Alto. Known for eclectic style that fused elements of rock, blues, jazz, folk, country, bluegrass, rock, and gospel, reggae, and geez, how much did they do? It's a lot. Anyway, 110,000 people in George Strait, so that's a lot of people. And how is it's just interesting to me. Is college football more famous than regular football? Because how could a college football stadium hold more people than an actual professional football stadium? Well, I know how in Vegas, because they have that hideous, huge statue. If you didn't have that, you'd fit a lot more people in there, Vegas. Just saying. That's just interesting to me. That I wonder if it's because of the floor, too, maybe? And maybe his stage wasn't as big as Taylor Swift's. And it didn't take up as much room. Maybe it was one of those... Maybe he was in the center. Hang on, I'm going to do some research. Because something's not adding up. Okay, I was correct. He literally just performs in the center of the stadium. So every single seat can be filled. And there's no... The stage is tiny. And I think it looks like he sits on a stool most of the time. I'm not trying to bash him. Like, he's obviously a really good performer and whatnot. But I was just like, how does that make any sense? But now it does. And that's a lot of people. Could you imagine that many people wanting to see you? Like, interesting. What an interesting life. And like, does he get nervous? Do you think he's nervous still? Or do you think he's just like having fun? It's like when you get so good at something, do you still get nervous? Like, is it nerve-wracking to do it? Or you just like are so, I don't know, just so good at it. You know what would happen if anything went wrong. You know how to handle it. I don't know. I can't imagine going up on stage in front of 110,000 people and just casually playing the guitar and singing, massive hit songs. But good for him. Good for him. Let's see, what else? Maren Morris has an EP coming out. An EP, I think I've talked about this before, it's not long enough to be considered an album. So I think it's like 7 songs or less. It would be considered an EP. But it's called Intermission, and it comes out August 2nd. And she has a new song with Julia Michaels out right now. I still have not heard that. But I like them both. And I'm wondering if it's like a country-esque vibe, because I think she said she's stepping away from the country scene. So who knows? Sabrina Carpenter announced she's going on tour. She's announcing, tickets go on sale tomorrow. She announced it this week, or last week. And she's coming to Salt Lake. Finally, someone is coming to Salt Lake, the Delta Center. Finally. So, I'm signed up. My friend Catherine signed up. My friend Dalton is signed up for pre-sale. So, if we don't get these tickets, I'm going to be upset. So, just know that. If I'm walking around grumpy, just know I didn't get Sabrina Carpenter tickets. I've always liked Sabrina Carpenter. I've never not liked her. But I just didn't vibe with her music as much as other artists until this new era. I think it was Catherine. She was like, I love this new era she's in. I'm like, I do too. Like, Please, 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 and Espresso. Like, are you kidding me? Like, these songs are so good. The video's good. She also walked Sabrina Carpenter last night with Katy Perry. Not with her, but like the same show. Paris Vogue World or whatever. And she looked good. And like, she looked like it was like an old inspired swimsuit. And she had like one of those like bandana things, like scarf things around her hair. And people were like, this is the kind of woman people used to go to war for. Men used to go to war for. I'm like, that is true. That is true. Let's see. Our beloved President Snow has sadly passed away. Donald Sutherland. I didn't realize he was that old. He's 88. He passed away in Miami the other day. And yeah, it's kind of sad. He was in one, like, have you guys ever seen Fool's Gold with Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey? He is the rich guy in there. It's actually a really good movie. I love that movie. But he's this rich guy and he has that daughter, Gemma, who is like so ditzy and stupid. And I guess I shouldn't say stupid. Sorry, that was mean. And they go on this yacht. They basically work on this guy's yacht. And the daughter comes for a visit and she's like, I'm gonna go shopping. He's like, okay. He's like, please try and keep it under 50,000. And she's like, but daddy, could you imagine spending $50,000 on one shopping trip? And there's like a scene where she's like mad at him. She's like, I'm getting cut off. I'm cutting myself off, except for like my phone and like when I want to go out to eat and like my shopping sprees and like when I want to go on trips. Like she's like taking back all this stuff because she realizes how much stuff he actually pays for. And then like the boat is named Precious Gem, and she's like, wait, you subconsciously named the boat after me. He's like, no, I purposely named the boat after you. Anyway, it's good. I like him. My friend does not like him. She's like, she saw him on screen once and she's like, oh, I have never liked him. I've gotten a weird vibe from him ever since I saw him. He's in Pride and Prejudice, obviously. And I mean, probably to my generation and the generations below, the most famous one he's in is in the Hunger Games. And he was a good villain. I will say he was a very, very good President Snow. But I think in real life he was actually really nice. He's from Canada. And Thomas Blythe, is that his name? Or is it just Tom Blythe? He played the new President Snow in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And Tom Blythe, it's just Tom, sorry. He posted a kind of a photo montage of Donald Sutherland. He's like, I never got to meet you, but I got to, carry on this legacy that you started, and I appreciate it, or whatever. I appreciate your work. So that's kind of sad. Still 88. Like, I know he had like white hair and stuff, but he did not look 88 to me. So that would mean, when did oh, I just got rid of that page. Oh no, I didn't. Hunger Games come out. Let's see, 2012. So let me try and do math. 10 years ago, he would have been 78. Plus 2 years before that. 76. Wow, that's crazy. He started that franchise when he was 76 years old. He just did not seem that old to me. Weird. I saw a TikTok today. It was so funny. I sent it to my cousin. It was like, those when they go to class reunions and they show like a picture of them now and then they go back to the yearbook. And when I first saw it, I'm like, that lady graduated in 2014. Like, that lady looks in her like mid-50s. And it just kept going, and they all looked so old. And so the comments were like, I thought this was a faculty reunion. Like, oh, it was so funny. It was so funny. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that. When you like see a video and you like are instantly like making fun of it or critiquing it, and you're like, oh, the comments are gonna be so lit, and you go to the comments and they're all like nice and everyone's so supportive, and you're like, oh, so I'm just an asshole. I'm just a jerk. uh this video did not disappoint because everyone in the comments was hilarious. All right, what is next on this list, you guys? Should I talk about Taylor Swift's let's see. A lot of Taylor Swift stuff right now. Taylor Swift put out a fire in her apartment with Gracie Abrams when they wrote the song Us for Gracie's new album. Oh, that album's out, by the way. I have not listened to it. Catherine, I'm sorry. But there's a song on there, and Taylor Swift is on it. And that is huge because Taylor Swift does not collaborate with a lot of people. She does not. And so the fact that she's on someone else's album, like that rarely happens, that she's on someone else's album. But apparently when they were making it afterwards, they were doing, they were in another room when they heard a loud crash or something. So they went to the kitchen and a candle had gotten knocked over, which I'm guessing was from a cat, but that's just me. And Taylor's like trying to frantically put out the fire, and she sprays it with the fire extinguisher. She's like, oh, our purses are ruined. I'm like, those purses are probably like, like $5,000. But it's like, it's nothing to them. Because Gracie Abrams' dad is J.J. Abrams, who is the director of like the Star Wars films. So they've got money. They're not struggling for sure. Yeah, what else? Taylor Swift performs for the Royals. Sadly, Kate Middleton was not there. I think I already said that, but I hope she's okay. People are speculating that she's not okay, which is really sad. And also, some exciting news, Travis Kelce came out on stage last night and surprised everyone. It was like the scene where she's transitioning into, I think it's into the Troubled Poets department. Also, I need to say that I've been told a couple of times, no, I said it again. I did it again. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so annoying. I keep saying Troubled Poets Department. It is not troubled. It is Tortured Poets Department. I don't know why I want to say troubled so much. Maybe in my mind it just sounds better. I think it just flows better. Okay, so I know I say that. I'm aware. And I'm glad people are listening and paying attention. I guess I should be grateful for that, but I do that all the time, and then after I'm done recording, I'm like, oh, why did I say that? I don't know why I said that. Okay, I gotta hurry. Let's see. He came out on stage and like picked her up on stage, and I think they were transitioning into the next set, and just like there's pictures of him standing behind her, and he's just like got this big grin on his face, just looking at her, like admiring her. He is like so in awe and so happy for her. And it was sad because I think Catherine sent me a TikTok, and it was a picture of her and Joe Alwyn, and they had like masks over their face and like these hideous pink wigs, like trying to hide, which I don't know why you would wear that, to try and hide from paparazzi. And then it flashes forward to Travis Kelce on stage, literally like holding his hands out, like, like, look at this, like, behold this magnificent specimen of a human. And I just love that. They're just so happy. I love it so much. And I think they're endgame, and I won't be mad if they want to get married and start a family and go on a hiatus for a while. Although I think his career is just kind of beginning. Like, he's obviously got his football career, but he's an actor now, you guys. He's the real deal. So, also he is a host. We talked about this before. Are you smarter than is it fifth grader still? Is that what the show's called? I think it's something different now, which I should know because I reported on it. I reported on it like I'm some like high-end journalist. I talked about it. I didn't report on it. Okay, one more thing about Taylor Swift, and then I'll move on. Did you guys see those, in quotations, activists? Because I don't think they're doing much. I think they're doing more harm than good. They're the ones that go and throw paint and soup on pictures in the Louvre, and they just went and defaced Stonehenge. They like spray painted Stonehenge. I'm like, what the hell does Stonehenge do? Like, I don't understand what what your motive is. Like, if you want to protest, go to the company's headquarters and vandalize their properties. Don't go to some historical landmark and ruin this. So these same people, or the same people akin to these people, broke into this airport, which is kind of scary how easily they broke in, because I don't know. Just seeing these two, you're like, if you can break in, anyone can break in. And they went and spray painted Taylor Swift's private jets. I say jets because there were 2 jets there, but I'm wondering if only one of them was hers. And people are like, so you use toxic paint to spray on a private jet when she's not going to be the one that's cleaning that up. It's going to be some person that gets paid like $17 an hour that's going to have to clean that up. And like, it literally is not going to affect her at all. Like, what is she going to do? Oh no. Oh, go get the Dawn dish soap and a bucket and I'll get to scrubbing. Like, she's not going to do that. They're going to have it cleaned up before she even gets there. And like, it's funny because there's a video of them. They set up the camera and then they're sitting in front of the jet and they're like looking at each other, like smiling, like so proud of themselves. And then they hug each other and the comments are like, you can smell this picture from here. I can smell that hug from here, because they don't wear deodorant. So people are saying, I don't know personally if they are or not, but it's like, why are there always people that don't wear deodorant that's doing stuff like this? Why is it always the vegans that are doing stuff like this? But if you really are that worried about climate change, go to like Amazon headquarters, go to Google headquarters, go to these, Sheen headquarters, like these people that are actually causing all this damage. Don't go to these historical sites or this airport and do it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I mean, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I just think the world is a lost cause at this point. Like, we've done too much damage to this poor earth, and I don't think there's any coming back for it. Okay, so let's move on to the Kardashians. This new episode is when Kourtney has her baby, and I didn't realize she had the baby on my birthday, like literally at midnight, the day of my birthday, November 1st. So that's exciting. Kylie is talking with Kendall about, how much bullying they face and all the harassment they get, and how everyone talks about Kylie's looks, and she's like, I've never let it bother me before, and I never cried. And she starts crying. She's like, but I guess it really does bother me. She's like, no matter what I do, I'll just be criticized no matter what. Which brings me to a point, like, why do people care if people get plastic surgery or Botox? Why does it bug people so much? What? I don't understand. Why is that, like, I mean, I'm guilty of it. I don't do it, like, really anymore, but it's like, oh, do you think she's had a boob job? Or clearly she's had something done. Or clearly this has happened. Or, it's like, okay, but who cares? Like, did they take money out of your wallet to pay for that? Like, I don't understand why people get so upset about it. I don't know. It's just so interesting to me. And then it's like, if someone doesn't have that stuff done, then people criticize them for that. It's like when people's like teeth are kind of all messed up. It's like, ugh, all that money and you can't fix your teeth. It's like you just can never win. If you do fix them, you're vapid, you're vain, you're part of the Hollywood elite, you're part of this, And if you don't fix them, you're made fun of because you have ugly features. And it's like, there really is no winning. And at the end of the day, what does it matter? Who cares? Like, what? Let them do whatever they want. I have a very hard time believing if these people that are complaining about these celebrities getting plastic surgery or anything, if they had the amount of money those people had, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go to the spa. You wouldn't go get a vampire facial. You wouldn't get your teeth whitened or put veneers on. Like, I just, I don't know. It's interesting. I just think it's so interesting when people get mad when rich people do rich people things and spend their money on, making themselves look better. And sometimes they don't look better, but who cares? At the end of the day, it's not you. If you don't want to do it, then don't do that. But she does have a point. Like she's been scrutinized since she was like 13. And so she was like, I think she said something along the lines of this, not in this episode, but before that, she had never thought about her lips until people on the internet started pointing them out to her. And then that's why she went and got lip filler. And then people were like harassing her about her lips are too big. So, I don't know. I mean, some people don't have any empathy for the rich, and I totally understand that. Like, there's that episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when Camille's house, it's during those huge fires. I think her house burned down. I can't remember, but she's like, oh, yeah, I had to just leave in a hurry. I had to go across the street this morning to this vintage, consignment store, and I just had to pick up this old Fendi jacket, and it goes to a cut scene of Lisa Rinna, and she's like, I don't know why people have any empathy for the rich, because like that is her way of like suffering, is she had to go across the street and buy an old Fendi coat. I think that's so funny. Okay, next up is when Kim is going from studio to studio to sell this movie. She's going to like 5 studios in one day, and she has a driver. She's in the back of her custom Rolls Royce, and he's like, all right, we're here. And it's like her first meeting. She's taking stuff out of one Birkin bag and putting it in another Birkin bag. If you're unaware, Birkin bags are the most expensive bags on the face of the earth. And the fact that she has 2 with her in the back seat, like she's probably taking stuff out of a $75,000 bag and putting it in a $100,000 bag to go into this meeting. And the crazy thing is she probably didn't pay for either of these. They were probably given to her because the publicity on that, on Kim carrying that, like there's a clip. I think this is where kind of my fascination with rich people doing like normal things, like, how I want to be super rich but have a normal job. Like she's getting out of her Rolls Royce in like her jogger suit, and she has her $5,000 laptop kind of hanging out of her $50,000 purse. Like that's her attire to go to school, and getting out of her $500,000 car. It's so interesting to me. But like that's just her life. But she's worked for it, There's no denying that she is a hard worker. I just thought it was interesting. And that brings me to another point. They sell some of their old stuff on, it's called Kardashian Closet, and people were like so annoyed that she was selling this Birkin bag, and they like zoomed in on the handles, and it was like worn down, and there was like a scuff on the side, and they're like, they are selling this for this much money? That is ridiculous. I'm like, okay, then don't buy it. Like, just don't buy it. Why does it bug you so much? First of all, it would be an honor to have something that that Kim used so frequently that literally the handle was rubbing down, like wearing down. Like, I would be honored to have that purse. And first of all, it is a Birkin bag, so it's very expensive, and it holds its value, and it's more valuable since it was Kim's. Like, I'm sorry to say that. I just don't understand. Like, don't buy it. That's the easiest thing to do. Do not pay $10,000 for that bag if you're that upset that it is scuffed and worn down. I don't understand it. So Kim sold her movie. Apparently it's a comedy. It's called The Fifth Wheel. She said it's kind of like Bridesmaids esque. Hey, I think she said Hangover vibes. I could be wrong. But she sold it to, I think, Netflix. So that's exciting. I think she's going to be in it. And she's like, okay, I have about 10 years left of looking really good. So if I do a movie a year, that's 10 movies. And that should be good. And it was funny because she's sitting down to dinner with her friends after she sold the movie. And she's like, yeah, I don't know what's gotten into me the last couple of years, but I want to do things each year that scare me. And her one friend is like, kudos to you, because I would never say that to myself. I'm like, truth, preach. This is just a thought I had when Kim was preparing for her movies. She should call Jennifer Lawrence. Like, Jennifer Lawrence loves this family. Like, she should call her and get acting tips from her, because Jennifer Lawrence is an amazing actress. And like, how awesome would that be to be that famous and well known that you could probably call up most other actors and they would be willing to help you. Like, just the life Kim has built for herself is insane. Okay, so back in the delivery room, Chris sneaks her way into the delivery room even though Kourtney doesn't want her there. And I'm like, come on, Kourtney, you know deep down this your mom would just be so upset if she couldn't be there with you. And I think that's the only reason she was saying, like, it's just, there's going to be no one in the delivery room. It's just going to be me and Travis. And Travis is actually the one that says, come on, let your mom be in it. You know she likes this. If my mom was alive, she would be here too. She's like, okay. And so Kourtney's obviously, like, giving her mom crap and being mean to her like usual. And there was a comment, I saw, like, a clip of this episode. And the top comment was like, Kourtney, I hope when Penelope is older, she treats you the way you treat Chris. I'm like, that is true. That is true. And then, like, literally, like, 2 minutes after she gives birth, Chris is like, do you want to cheese it? How can you not love Chris? I don't know. And then Kim at that dinner, she said, she's like, I want to start 2 more companies because she's talking about how busy she is. And she's like, if I have to get rid of something, I'm going to get rid of my sleep. And I'm just curious what those 2 other companies are going to be. She obviously has the fragrance company, which I hope she brings back because all the smells smell really good. And that is the only one she hasn't brought back since she's rebranded. But I'm just curious. I'm wondering what other one she'll want to start. It's interesting. Yeah. Let's see. A couple more things. White Chicks turned 20 years old yesterday. I vividly remember watching that on Stars. And that movie is so funny. That movie is so hilarious. And I wish they'd make movies like that again. There's a rumor they're trying to do a second one, but who knows if that'll happen. And then Jennifer Lawrence is starring and producing a new movie for A24 and Apple Films. It's like a Real Housewives-esque movie, but like a murder mystery. So I'm excited for that. And it's perfect because she loves the Real Housewives. She loves them. And so it's going to be good because she is like such a fan of it. She's going to make it like as best as she can possibly make it, which I love. I also go back to this article I read about her in Vogue. This was years ago, but she's like, I always want to go to bed absolutely exhausted. Like, I don't want to ever go to bed and think, wow, I wasn't productive today. Like, I didn't get anything done. And I'm like, that is a good motto. Everyone needs their rest days every now and then, but like, she's like, I want to go to bed feeling accomplished. I'm like, that is a good way to look at things. Okay, last thing. Katy Perry walked in. I have never heard of this before. I don't know if it's new or if I just miss it every single year for the past, long time. But it's called the Vogue World Fashion Show. And it was like, I think it was in like the streets of Paris. Like they shut down the streets and she came out. It didn't say what dress she was wearing. I'm sure it says it somewhere, but she walked it, Gigi Hadid walked it, Kendall Jenner, I think Cara Delevingne, Serena Williams, I think, walked in it, like tons of people. And she kind of shut down the show. Like this dress she was wearing was so cool. And I just love it. I love that she's out there promoting for the new album. I love that she's getting publicity. I just love it. Anyway, that will do it for me today, you guys, and thank you for listening. What else can I end on this with? I don't know. I think that is it. Let me just make sure. Oh, I didn't do the Bad Blood documentary. Dang it. Should I hurry and fit that in? I'm going to do it. The Bad Blood documentary is on HBO, and it is it's like a play on words from her song, obviously, Bad Blood. But it's 2 episodes. One is about Taylor Swift and kind of her side of the story of all of her songs getting sold out from under her. And the second episode is about Scooter Braun, who's the guy that bought them all, who she despises. And it's about his side of the story. And I feel like it did a pretty good job of keeping it neutral. The lawyers, it was interesting to see the lawyers in that movie, that show, because they kept saying, well, he bought it fair and square. He bought it fair and square. Yeah, that might be true, but he, the way it went, the way it was handled is what is the problem. Well, the problem is he bought him and she doesn't like him. And that's like a known thing. And, but like the fact that she didn't know anything about it, the fact that he didn't even call her up himself and say, hey, I'm thinking about buying the record label that you're signed to. Just FYI. Like, he didn't do that at all. So obviously there's, I don't know. It's not unjust why she's so mad. And, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this, but she's obviously come out on top. And he actually sold, he's not in the music industry anymore. We learned about that last week. But he sold his company to another company called Hybe, I think, for $1 billion. And I honestly think that her original masters weren't worth as like nearly as much anymore because her fans are so loyal and we're streaming the new stuff. So I was thinking, you wonder if she thought it would get this big, if she thought it would be this successful, all these re-recordings. Like, I don't know. You just wonder, like, obviously she knew it wasn't going to flop, but she realized it was going to be this big. Like, some of these re-recordings are outperforming the first round of recordings. So that's pretty insane. And to come out on top of Billionaire because of that, that's wild. You can call pop stars divas, you can call them high maintenance, you can call them all this stuff, but you cannot call them lazy because they are not lazy. And I will die on that hill until the day I die. Anyway, I gotta go back to real life now. I gotta go work on my car. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to Oklahoma this week, so I'm sure I'll have some stories to tell you when I get back.